welcome back to Ask Amy. I have a question from Elaine. Elaine says, very short and sweet. She says, I often don't realize I'm biting my nails, and I only notice I have my fingers in my mouth after I've begun to chew them. How can I dismiss the thought and notice the urge to bite? So I actually think there's a whole chapter in my book, The Little Book of Big Change, on this, which you can check out if you want, Elaine, or not. It's okay. But I don't know if this is just a story I told in that chapter, or I think it's a chapter on setbacks. But anyway, I used an example of a client I had with this very issue. So here's the thing. It's really, really pretty simple. I don't know how you could... I don't know how anyone can know what we don't know. So when you say, how can I notice the urge to bite before I notice the urge to bite? Well, I don't know. We see what we see when we see it, I think. But what you can notice is you notice it when you do. So maybe you're already biting your nails. And in that moment, Elaine, when you notice that, that's when you stop and you say, oh, this was happening again. Okay, good to know. And this sounds so simple, I know, but there's something in just noticing that when you notice it and not making that a problem, because it's not a problem. It's truly not. Now, the mind thought, which wants you to not have this habit and thinks you should have noticed it 2 minutes earlier and all of that, is going to find a problem in this. But that's just thought making stuff up. Thought has an agenda here. The mind has an agenda. I want to never put my hands in my mouth, period. That's just saying, for example, that's thought's agenda. But thought has all kinds of agendas about all kinds of things that have nothing to do with reality. So we want to not really care so much about thought's agenda and just meet what is as it is. So if you find yourself biting your nails and you're like, oh crap, I'm doing it again and I didn't notice until right now, okay, you just stop when you notice. And that's it. And there's no problem and there's nothing missed and it should not have been any different. It just is what it is and you move on. And that, although that sounds very, very simple, that is what keeps us right here. You know, that's what allows us to kind of notice what we can notice. It kind of expands your vision a little bit more to where maybe at some point you do start to notice the feeling, or you start to notice when your hand is going to your mouth, or you start to notice it after 5 seconds instead of after a minute. That simple, just letting it be what it is and just dropping it when you notice it, to the mind, that will not sound like enough. That is not what the mind wants. The mind wants perfection, but that's reality. And meeting reality in that way and just stopping when you see it, I promise, it sounds crazy, but that's what starts to allow us to notice more and to notice more quickly and to notice in like the subtleties, you know. So right now, you're not noticing the subtleties so much. You're not noticing the subtle cues and the automatic way your hand goes to your mouth and all of that. You're noticing it down the road a little bit. That's okay. That's normal. It's very normal. I mean, many people notice that they're binge eating when they're already into it, or drinking or things like that, which to people who don't have that habit, that might sound pretty extreme, but it's the same thing. We just see it when we see it. And some of this stuff becomes so automatic that we just don't notice it until we do. So all you can do, Elaine, is notice when you do and let it go. And keep getting more and more open and onto the subtle cues, the subtleties. And you will start noticing it sooner, I think. And check out that chapter in the Little Book of Big Change, maybe, because I probably said the same thing, but maybe in a slightly different way there that might be helpful. So thanks for sending your question. Send your questions to askamy@thelittleschoolbigchange.com, and I will see you guys next time.